here we are at Speaker's Corner, and today I'm going to try and talk to my friend Mansour Ahmed, who's one of the regulars here, about a surah of the Quran that we talked about a little bit last week, but we didn't really get to the bottom of, and he was going to try and help me understand that. And this surah is Surah 65, Ayah 4, and it's about marriage to prepubescent girls. Just to give you a little bit of background, I'm going to read the surah for you, okay? And those of your women as have passed the age of monthly courses, for them the iddah, prescribed period if you have doubt, is 3 months. And for those who have no courses, i.e. they are still immature, so it says that they are still immature, their iddah is 3 months likewise, except in the case of death, okay? So it's talking about whether or not it's legal to get divorced from a woman and how that relates to her periods, but it does say specifically in this surah that it's some women, I should say girls, have been married who've not even had periods yet. Now, I don't know about you, but that strikes me as being completely wrong.
It sounds very disturbing.
Yeah, and it is also something that does go on in the world today, and so I just want to show you
You've got a picture, I believe.
Yeah,
yes.
I've got a picture. This is, I don't know if you could get a good shot there.
Yes, I can just go in there, so just there we are.
Okay,
yes.
So this is an Afghan man marrying a girl who looks probably about...
young enough to be his granddaughter even.
Yeah,
possibly.
young enough to be his granddaughter. Very, very young anyway.
Yeah.
I have daughters, I have 3 daughters.
Yes.
And there's absolutely no way that I would permit my daughter of that age to get married.
And there is no way that even with a historical context from a different time period that it could be morally justified for a man like Muhammad at his age to be marrying someone like Aisha at such a young age, for instance, when he was, I believe, 56, and she was a very, very young girl when they married. There is not even any contextual historical justification that can reasonably be brought forward as a reason.
And Patrick, I'd also like just to highlight the fact that this is also in the earliest commentaries, that this is referring to young girls. Let me see if I can bring some up from here. So just to give you a little bit of background to that surah, this is how the earliest commentaries write about it. So this is from Ibn Kathir, and Ibn Kathir talks about this as being a third type of divorce, he says, which is neither a sunnah, the way of Muhammad, or an innovation, where one divorces a young wife who has not begun to have menses. You might want to see that there.
Just about.
Okay. And also an Al-Tabri, this is Al-Tabri 14/142, the interpretation of the verse, okay? If you have doubt, is 3 months, the iddah period, for those who have no courses, i.e. they are still immature. The same applies to the iddah for girls who do not menstruate because they are too young, if their husbands divorce them after consummating the marriage with them. This is Al-Tabri, this is very authoritative, one of the early commentators on the Quran. Okay. So I think that's probably enough for now. Why don't we go and talk to some Muslims and see what they think about all this.
Okay.
So I just wanted to read this surah because this is one I've been having difficulty with, okay? This is Surah 65, Ayah 4, okay? And this is about women and their iddah period, and this is, for talking about young girls being married when they can get divorced, when they haven't even started their period. Can I read it to you, okay? Yeah. And those of your women as have passed the age of monthly courses, for them the iddah, if you have doubt, is 3 months. And for those who have no courses, i.e. they are still immature, the iddah is 3 months likewise, okay? Except in the face of death. Now, the Quran, yes, that's in brackets, but what do you say to the earliest commentaries? The earliest commentators seem to think that this is all
and those
about...
who no longer expect menstruation among your women, if you doubt, then their period is 3 months, and those who have not menstruated. But that's what the words of the Quran and the exact translation is.
Okay, so the women who've not menstruated. So when you hear the expression women who've not menstruated, what comes to your mind?
Of course it comes to your mind when you are not old enough, but that's my own knowledge, my own limited knowledge.
Okay.
But when we go deep into it, into science, we know there are women who never menstruated. They have a problem. When they are at the age of 16, I think they call the absence of menstrual periods. They call them absence of menstrual periods, and that term exists in science because there are some girls who, when they're 16, they didn't menstruate. So they have some problems.
Okay, so
Can be
what,
psychological.
Okay, yeah, thank you for saying that. But what do you do? I've got some of the earliest commentators here who seems to link this story specifically with very young girls. So this is Ibn Kathir, okay? Ibn Kathir, you've heard the name Ibn Kathir?
Yes, of course.
Okay, he's talking about this surah 65 ayah 4, as types of divorce. And he says here, there is a third type of divorce, which is neither a sunnah nor an innovation, where one divorces a young wife who has not begun to have menses. It's right there. A young wife who has not begun to have menses, okay?
And
The
young
wife
could be
is
16, 17 and didn't
one-
menstruated yet.
Sorry?
Young could be 15, 16, 17 who has not menstruated yet. And if you think if somebody married 15-year-old, it's not bad. It's not wrong.
Hang on, so you're thinking
Young
it is
doesn't
okay,
mind.
it is okay to consummate, to have sex with a girl before she started periods?
Islam doesn't say that. Nobody in Islam say that you can have a sex.
Seems to be what you were saying earlier, that you can, it's okay to have sex with a 14, 15-year-old who's not started her periods.
No.
That implies that she's not come to
fair enough.
maturity, right?
Yes, when you are in the age of 16, certain age, and you didn't reach menstruated periods, then it's okay. There's nothing wrong morally, even if you're
To have sex.
even if you have 16 or 17.
Right, it's okay to have sex with a 16-year-old who's not started their periods. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is going to be my opinion. I'm not going to say the scholars say that. In my opinion, if it's 16 and they didn't menstruate it, I believe they are ready for
sexual relations.
For sexual relations.
I personally, I think that's completely wrong because it's a sign that their body is not mature. So it's absolutely wrong. Absolutely.
So if somebody is 20,
wrong.
even if somebody is 20 and didn't reach menstruated periods, and there can be possibility,
Well,
I'm sure
you're talking about 14, 15, 16-year-old girls.
No. Let's say 20. If you are 20 and didn't reach menstruated periods, what do you say about that? Can you have sex with that person?
Yeah, except this is talking about girls in Ibn Kathir. It was talking about young girls. That's what it said. That's what the commentator
No, I
said
want to
about
clarify
young
with
girls.
you. You were talking about menstruation periods, yeah? You're saying when you're 16 and they don't have periods, it's immoral to have sex with them. I'm saying if somebody's 20 and still do not have period, what do you say about that? Can you have sex with them?
Okay.
Lizzie, can you answer me? Can you have sex with somebody who's 20 and didn't have periods yet? Can you have sex with them?
Okay.
What do you say? It's your opinion
That's
because I give you my
different.
opinion.
Okay, that's
straight.
different because 20, obviously, you're older.
And 16
but this commentator is saying a young wife. Okay,
But
young wife.
didn't say how young.
Now let me see.
Young could be 16
Okay,
as well.
right. Let me just quote from you Al-Tabri. Okay, this is Al-Tabri. Again, you've heard of Al-Tabri?
Yes, of course.
This is Al-Tabri 14/142. Okay, he says of this verse, ayah 16 verse 4. Okay. He said, the same applies to the iddah for girls who do not menstruate because they are too young.
Fair
They
enough.
are too young
Fair enough.
if their husbands divorce them after consummating the marriage with them. That's Tafsir Al-Tabri 14/142. So it's referring not to 20-year-olds, but to young girls.
Can I
What do you say
reply?
to that? Yes, you can.
Let's say for the sake of argument, what Tabri is saying is actually Tabri's thinking. He's saying that from his own understanding. Let's say for the sake of argument, Tabri is referring here, somebody who could be 9, could be 8, could be 10. Yes? And it's talking about divorce here.
Right, 8, 9,
Or 10.
10.
Let's say.
Tabri is, let me just get that absolutely straight. Tabri is talking about 8, 9,
I say, let's say,
10-year-old girls and their iddah period, the idea being that they have been married at 8, 9 and 10. Is that what you're saying?
No. Tabri is not saying that. I am saying that, let's say Tabri is saying that. Let's say for the sake of argument, Tabri is mentioning here under 10 years old girls. Now I'll ask you a question. According to Hadith, what age was Aisha when she was married with Muhammad?
Yes. So the Prophet Muhammad saw Aisha when she was 6.
Can you just give me the answer?
No, I'm
Because
giving you the answer. When she was 6, and it says in at least 3 hadith that the relationship was consummated.
No, I don't want your commentary on that. I just want you to answer me.
Yeah, I'm giving you my answer. Okay, that the relationship was consummated when she was 9. Okay, if you don't believe me, I can read it to you.
I believe you.
Hadith Sunan Abu Dawud, volume 2,
Lizzie,
2116.
I didn't ask you to read the hadith. I know the hadith.
He had intercourse with me when I was 9 years old.
Lizzie, it's only fair
Do you think
that you
is
do not just go do a long commentary. Just answer me as I ask you a question.
Okay.
Lizzie, please, I want to get some point.
Right.
Some point I want you to answer me. According to Hadith, Muhammad peace be upon him married Aisha at what age? 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6. Okay.
I'll
Now,
show you this photo now. What is this a photo of? This is a photo of an Afghan man
Here, or you try to mock him?
marrying. No, I'm talking about a reality that's in the world. This is happening in the world now. Men his age are marrying girls her age. Why do you think that is?
You're changing a position here.
No, I'm not changing any position.
No, look, I was going to make a point here. Why don't
marriage to prepubescent girls? It has scriptural justification, and is that why you think maybe in places like Afghanistan that it's still culturally acceptable to marry young girls?
Lizzie, can I talk for 1 minute, please?
You can, and you can tell me if you think this is okay.
I will.
Just simply, is this okay? Yes or no?
Yes.
No, it's not
Yes,
okay.
it's okay. Right, can we have that, please? This is okay.
Is her
This
father
gentleman here.
This picture is her father.
Right.
How do you prove it's a marriage?
Lizzie.
How is her father?
Are you saying
Yes.
child marriage doesn't happen in
Yeah, that's her
Afghanistan?
father. That's her father.
Okay, let's
Who
bring
says
out another
marriage?
graph, shall
Are you
we?
seeing him married? You bring it in
You'll be
cheap,
generous
cheap
enough to give me 1
picture.
minute? I want to
So
make a
You
point.
cheap.
said it was okay.
Brother,
So
Do you
cheap
think it's
picture.
okay?
Guys,
That
Do
is
you
a
think it's
daughter
okay
and
for
father.
prepubescent
This is a picture
girls
of daughter and
to
the
marry
father.
men and have sex with them?
This
Do
is a
you
daughter.
think that's okay?
This is a daughter and her
Guys,
father.
I think it's to be 1-to-1. 1-to-1. Sorry,
and her father.
you afterwards. If you want to have a go afterwards.
Make one point
Just
here.
tell
But 1-to-1.
Brother,
I
one
just
minute, brother,
want-
1 minute,
one,
brother,
one,
1
one,
minute.
one.
I want to make one point here.
Yes.
Quran is saying here, according to chapter 60, verse 4, you give
65.
even 65 verse 4, you can give divorce even those who did not even reach menstruated period.
So they have been married. This
Lizzie,
point.
let me give
No, I'm going to press you on this point because this is abhorrent. Okay, let's name it for what it is.